Hey guys, how you doing? Steve, South Jersey Bottom Feeders. Real quick, this video is just going to be a short tutorial on how I get my rig set up. So as you can see here, I got the two main components to my rigs. We have the Eagle Claw Laser Sharp Power Light Swivel, size 8. Second part is the Gamakatsu Octopus Circles, the 2.0 size. Now, as you can see real quick, this was the original size that I started with. These, I believe, were the 4.0s. You can see the comparison of size, the old to the new. I've landed a lot more fish with the smaller hooks. They are barbed in the package, and I've removed the barbs when I rigged them. A little more humane for the carp's soft mouths, as well as it's a little bit easier to remove the hook if it's a foul hook, but unfortunately it does allow for the hook to come out a little more easily when you're trying to land a fish. But real quick, we're not going to get into too technical of the details or the wording, but I'm going to show you briefly on how I tie my rigs. So I start with a good 1.5 foot piece of braid. So I start looping it over itself like this. Okay, and I'll just give it a couple little pinches to get it together. Now, this is where I start. Take the hook, thread that through the eye, or attempt to, through the eye. So you'll have it just like this. Okay, then we're going to take it, we're going to make a loop. We're going to start tying a knot. I'm going to pull it through slightly. Alright, then what we're going to do is we're going to open up this loop that we made. We're going to put the hook directly through all the way. Then we're going to grab the tag ends and just slowly start tightening it, and then I'm just going to take it and wet it a little bit to help. And you're just going to want to get this nice and tight and clean. Alright, sometimes I'll use my scissors just to get a good grip on that hook. Waiting for my knot pullers to come in, actually off Amazon. They were only a couple dollars. So this is a nice strong knot. I forget the name of it. I did see it on YouTube somewhere, but basically we'll take this tag end and we'll trim it off nice and short. You can leave just a little bit on. I always do. My scissors don't feel like cutting at the moment. Try this again. There we go. Alright. Now one of the next things that I do is I take one of these tail rubbers. Okay? Now these are made for the method feeder leads, the inline leads. They slide inside. But what I like to do with the tail rubber is I cut just about 1/4 inch off. Alright, and I'll show you what I do with that. See? Now, I personally like to have security on my rigs. So what I'm going to do now is going to thread this on and slide it all the way down to my knot. So, slide it all the way down. And then I just give it a little lick here, get it wet, and then I just slide it over the eye of the hook. Now you don't have to do this. Again, this is just personal preference. It's what I prefer to do. Just makes me feel like I have a little bit more security with the knot that's tied. Okay? So the next part of my rig is the heli buffer sleeve, which you can see here. I don't know if you can see it, but right here there is a hole, and that's for the certain kind of tearaway rigging. Okay, I don't use it that way. I just use it to cover my swivel and my hook links when I have the rigs set up. So I'll just take one, the opened end facing where it would tie onto my rod. Just thread the line in, okay? Just slide it all the way down, just so it's loose. Now normally I make this would be a hair rig, normally, with a UK guys would have. And I'll just show you real quick with this scrap piece of line. Normally that's what a hair rig would look like. The hair goes below the hook, has a tiny little loop. You thread the corn or a buoy on. I am a little bit lazy, so I just thread the few pieces of corn onto my hook. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to make my loop. I'm going to take one of my swivels and do the same process that I tied the hook with. I'm going to thread it through, have it. I'm going to go to tie the knot, so to speak. Okay, tighten it a bit, then open it up and slide the swivel right through. Sometimes it's, there we go. Alright, and again, wet it, and then just carefully wrap your fingers around the braid while holding it, and tighten her down. And again, another nice, tight, almost foolproof knot. I'll just take my tag end again, put a little bit of pressure, get it somewhat tight here, and then cut it off nice and short. There we go. And there we go, guys. This is the rig for the end of my setup. When I connect it to my hook link to the rest of my rod, which I'll show you in another video, this is going to slide all the way up, and it's going to cover the swivel as well as it does fit the hook link. So guys, thanks for watching. Remember to always like, comment, and subscribe.